Wait, I know that place. Why are we going there?
The hand clamps around his wrist before he can even scream. Riven freezes. His breath locks in his throat. The grip isn't rough, not yet, but it's absolute. Like steel wrapped in skin. Found you. The voice comes from above. Deep, cold. The kind of voice that doesn't ask twice. Riven's heart slams against his ribs so hard he thinks it might crack bone. He's curled behind the driver's seat of a car he doesn't own. Knees tucked to his chest. Fingers pressed white against his mouth. He'd thought he was hidden. He'd thought he was safe. He was wrong. The hand drags him upward. Not violent, just efficient, like pulling a kitten from behind a couch. Riven tumbles into the back seat, gasping, eyes wide and wet with panic. His shoulder hits leather. His scent, fear-laced, omega-sweet, trembling, floods the confined space. And that's when he sees them, two men, sitting in the front seats, turned halfway around, staring at him. Not just men, alphas. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Riven's instincts scream at him in a language older than words. Run, submit, hide, all three at once, tangling into paralysis. The one on the right, dark-haired, sharp-jawed, eyes like frozen ocean water, tilts his head, slowly, studying Riven the way a wolf studies a rabbit caught in wire. Who? The man says, voice low and controlled. Are you? Riven's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. The one on the left shifts. This one's different. Broader shoulders, rougher energy. His eyes burn where the other ones freeze. He leans over the seat, close enough that Riven can smell gunpowder and expensive cologne mixing with something darker. Something that makes Riven's pulse spike for reasons he doesn't want to name. Answer him, the second man growls. Riven flinches. I didn't. Didn't what? The cold one's voice cuts clean through his stammering. Didn't think we'd notice someone breathing in our car? Our car. The words land like a fist to the gut. Riven's eyes dart to the interior. Black leather, polished wood trim, tinted windows, the kind of car that costs more than his rent for a year. Maybe two. I'm sorry, Riven chokes out. His voice cracks. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to. Trying to what? The rough one leans closer. Steal it. No. Riven's hands fly up, palms out, shaking so hard his fingers blur. No, I swear. There was someone I was running. The cold one raises one hand. A single gesture. The other alpha stops talking immediately. The silence that follows is worse than the interrogation. Riven can hear his own heartbeat, can hear the rustle of his jacket, can hear the way his breath keeps hitching, too fast, too shallow, like he's drowning on dry land. The cold one studies him, really looks. Eyes tracking from Riven's face to his hands to the way he's pressed himself into the corner of the seat like he's trying to disappear into the upholstery. Omega, the man says, not a question, a diagnosis. Riven's stomach drops. The rough one's expression shifts. Something flickers behind the anger. Something Riven can't name. Why were you running? The cold one asks. Riven swallows. His throat feels like sandpaper. There was an alpha outside the cafe where I work. He tried to. He can't finish. The memory claws at him. The way the stranger's eyes had locked onto him. The way the alpha's scent had flared, hot and rotten and hungry. The slurred words, the reaching hands. The rough one's jaw tightens. Tried to what? He didn't touch me, Riven says quickly. Too quickly. I ran. I saw your car and the door was open and I thought. You thought you'd hide. The cold one finishes. Riven nods. Miserably, the two alphas exchange a look. It lasts maybe 3 seconds. But in those 3 seconds, something unspoken passes between them. Some wordless conversation Riven isn't part of. The rough one sits back, runs a hand through his hair. When he speaks again, his voice has dropped an octave. Softer, but no less dangerous. What's your name? Riven blinks. W what? Your name, the cold one repeats. We need to know what to call you while we figure out what to do with you. That should sound threatening. It does sound threatening. But there's something underneath it. Something that makes Riven's Omega instincts perk up despite his terror. Protection. These alphas aren't just interrogating him. They're evaluating him. Riven, he whispers. My name is Riven. The cold one nods once. I'm Caelum. This is Dorian. Dorian, the rough one. He's still staring at Riven like he's solving a puzzle. You said there was an alpha chasing you, Dorian says. Where? The parking garage. Behind the cafe on 5th. Caelum pulls out a phone. Doesn't break eye contact with Riven. Describe him. I didn't really. Try. Riven's hands twist in his lap. Tall, maybe 6 feet. Dark jacket. He smelled wrong. Like spoiled meat and rage. Caelum's fingers move across the screen. Fast. Efficient. Dorian leans forward again. This time, he shrugs off his jacket. Before Riven can process what's happening, the heavy fabric lands on his shoulders. Warmth. Wait. The scent of alpha wrapping around him like armor. Riven's breath catches. You're shaking, Dorian says. Not unkind. Just factual. Riven looks down. His hands are trembling so hard he can barely close his fingers. I'm sorry, he whispers. I'll leave. I'll go. Thank you for not. You're not going anywhere, Caelum interrupts. Riven's head snaps up. What? Caelum pockets his phone. His expression hasn't changed. Still cold. Still unreadable. But there's something sharp in his eyes now. Something that makes Riven's pulse jump. An alpha targeted you, Caelum says. That makes this our problem. I don't understand. You will, Dorian cuts in. He reaches forward. Riven flinches, but Dorian just buckles the seatbelt across Riven's chest. His knuckles brush Riven's collarbone. The touch lasts half a second. It might as well be a brand. Caelum starts the engine. The low purr fills the car. Riven's panic reignites. Wait, where are we going? Dorian turns around fully, rests his arm on the back of the seat, looks at Riven with something that might be amusement, might be pity. Somewhere safe, he says. Riven's voice comes out small, broken. You don't even know me. Caelum shifts the car into drive. His eyes meet Riven's in the rearview mirror. No, he agrees, but you hid in our car. That means something. The car rolls forward. Riven's hands grip the seatbelt. His mind races. These men, these alphas, they're not letting him go. They're taking him somewhere. Somewhere safe, they said. But Riven has learned the hard way that safety is a word alphas use when they mean possession. His breath quickens. The jacket around his shoulders feels heavier. Dorian watches him. Caelum drives. And Riven realizes, with cold clarity, that running into their car wasn't just a mistake. It was the beginning of something he can't escape. What do you think the twins will do with Riven now that they've claimed responsibility for him? The car smells like leather and control. Riven sits rigid in the back seat, spine pressed against the door, fingers digging into the edge of Dorian's jacket. His eyes flick between the two alphas in front of him. Caelum drives with one hand on the wheel, effortless, like he's done this 1,000 times. Dorian sits half-turned, watching Riven the way a hawk watches field mice. Neither of them has spoken in 3 minutes. The silence is suffocating. Riven's Omega instincts are screaming contradictions at him. Submit, run, trust, flee. His body doesn't know whether to relax into the scent of alpha surrounding him or claw his way out of the car. You're still shaking, Dorian observes. Riven doesn't answer. Can't. His jaw is locked so tight his teeth ache. Caelum's eyes flick to the rearview mirror. Panic response. He'll settle. Will I? The words slip out before Riven can stop them. Sharper than he intended. Dorian's eyebrows lift. Not offended. Interested. You've got bite, Dorian says. Didn't expect that. Riven's face flushes. He drops his gaze to his lap. Sorry. I didn't mean. Don't apologize for having a backbone, Caelum interrupts. His voice is still cold, but there's something else underneath it now. Almost approval. We don't need another person who folds under pressure. Another person. Riven files that away. These men have people. Probably a lot of them. The kind of people who work for alphas like this. The kind of alphas who own cars with tinted windows and carry themselves like violence is just another business meeting. Where are we going? Riven asks again. Quieter this time. Our place, Dorian says. Riven's breath catches. No, I can't. I have work tomorrow, You have an alpha hunting you, Caelum cuts in. Work can wait. You don't understand, Riven stammers. I can't just. People will ask questions, my manager. We'll handle it. The certainty in Caelum's voice is almost worse than the fear. Like Riven's entire life can be rearranged with a single phone call. Maybe it can. Dorian leans closer. This alpha, the one who chased you, did he touch you? Riven shakes his head fast. No, I swear. I ran before he. Did he speak to you? Riven hesitates. The memory claws its way up his throat. He called me. He said. His voice breaks. Dorian's expression darkens. What did he say? He said I smelled. Riven's hands twist in the jacket. He said I smelled like I was asking for it. The temperature in the car drops. Caelum's knuckles go white on the steering wheel. Dorian goes completely still. The kind of stillness that comes before an explosion. Asking for it, Dorian repeats. His voice is flat, dead calm. Riven wishes he'd kept his mouth shut. We're going to find him, Caelum says. Not to Riven, to Dorian. Yeah. Dorian's jaw works. We are. Riven feels his stomach twist. You don't have to. I'm fine. I'm safe now. You're safe because you got lucky, Dorian snaps. Then, softer, like he's reining himself in. What if the next Omega isn't? Riven blinks. The question catches him off guard. Dorian isn't just angry for him. He's angry at the idea that someone else might get hurt. I don't want anyone to get hurt because of me, Riven whispers. Then you're in the wrong city, Caelum says. He takes a left turn. Smooth, controlled. This place eats people like you alive. People like you. Soft, small. Omega. Riven's throat tightens. I know. Do you? Dorian challenges. Riven meets his eyes. For the first time since they dragged him out of hiding, he doesn't look away. I've been running my whole life, Riven says quietly. I know exactly what this city does to people like me. Something flickers in Dorian's expression. Surprise. Maybe respect. Caelum's gaze lingers in the mirror, assessing. The car slows. Riven glances out the window. They're pulling up to a building. Not just any building. Glass and steel rising into the night sky like a blade. Valet stand. Security at the entrance. The kind of place Riven has only ever seen in movies. His chest tightens. I don't belong here, he says. You do now, Caelum replies. He parks. Kills the engine. The silence that follows is heavier than before. Dorian opens his door. Steps out. Comes around to Riven's side and opens it before Riven can even process what's happening. Come on, Dorian says. He offers a hand. Riven stares at it. At the scarred knuckles. The steady fingers. I can walk, Riven says. I know, but you won't make it 3 steps before your legs give out. Riven wants to argue, but Dorian's right. His knees are jelly. His whole body feels like it's held together by sheer stubbornness. He takes the hand. Dorian pulls him out gently. Steadies him when he stumbles. The jacket slips, and Dorian catches it, draping it back over Riven's shoulders with more care than Riven expected. Caelum joins them. The 3 of them walk toward the entrance. Security nods at the twins. Doesn't even blink at Riven. Inside, the lobby is all marble and gold accents. It smells like expensive air freshener and money. Riven feels every eye turn toward him. Whispers ripple through the space. New Omega. Where'd they find him? He looks terrified. Dorian steps closer. Not touching, just there. A wall between Riven and the stairs. Caelum presses the elevator button. The doors open immediately. They step inside. The space shrinks. 3 people, confined. The scent of alpha is everywhere now. Dorian's rough warmth. Caelum's cold intensity. Both of them wrapping around Riven like smoke. Riven's back hits the wall. He didn't mean to retreat. His body just moved. Easy, Dorian murmurs. I'm fine, Riven lies. Caelum watches him. Your heartbeat says otherwise. Riven's eyes widen. You can hear it? Yes. The elevator climbs. 30 floors, 40, 50. Riven's ears pop. When the doors finally open, they step into a penthouse hallway. Private, exclusive. 1 door at the end. Caelum unlocks it. They walk inside. Riven stops breathing. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Leather furniture. Dark wood. Everything sleek and sharp and expensive. The kind of place that exists in a different universe from Riven's cramped studio apartment with the leaking faucet. Sit, Caelum says. It's not a command, just a suggestion. Riven doesn't move. Dorian shuts the door behind them. The sound of the lock clicking echoes. Riven's trapped. And then, from somewhere deeper in the penthouse, a voice calls out. Boss, we found footage. Caelum's expression sharpens. Show me. A man in a dark suit appears, tablet in hand. He glances at Riven. Curious, cautious, then focuses on Caelum. The alpha from the garage. We got a clear shot of his face. Dorian moves closer, looks at the screen. His face goes blank. That's Varyn's man, he says. The room goes cold. Caelum's eyes cut to Riven. Did you know who he worked for? Riven shakes his head frantically. I don't even know what that means. It means, Dorian says slowly, dangerously, that you didn't just run from any alpha. Caelum finishes the thought. You ran from someone connected to the most dangerous syndicate in the city. Riven's knees buckle. Dorian catches him before he hits the floor. Will Riven survive being caught between 2 rival mafia families? Riven can't breathe. His vision tunnels. The room tilts. Strong hands grip his arms, holding him upright, but his legs are useless. His whole body has given up. Sit him down, Caelum orders. Dorian half carries, half guides Riven to the leather couch. The cushions sink under his weight. Soft, expensive, wrong. Riven's hands shake in his lap. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. We believe you, Dorian says. He crouches in front of Riven. I level. His voice is steady, grounding. But that doesn't change what happened. Riven's breath comes in short, shallow gasps. What does this mean? Caelum hands the tablet back to the man in the suit. It means you're in more danger than we thought. The man hesitates. Boss, if Varyn finds out we have him, then Varyn will have a problem, Caelum interrupts. His tone leaves no room for argument. The man nods, disappears back into the shadows of the penthouse. Riven stares at the floor. His mind races. Syndicate. Dangerous. Varyn. Words that belong in movies, not his life. I should leave, Riven whispers. I should go home. If I'm here, I'm putting you in danger. Too late for that, Dorian says. Not unkind, just honest. Riven's head snaps up. What? Caelum sits in the chair across from him, legs crossed, posture relaxed, but his eyes are sharp as broken glass. You hid in our car. You brought your scent into our space. That makes you ours to protect. I'm not. Riven's voice cracks. I'm not yours. No, Caelum agrees, but you're under our roof. That's the same thing. Riven shakes his head. I don't understand how any of this works. Dorian sits back on his heels. The Varyn syndicate runs half the city. We run the other half. If one of their men targeted you and you ended up with us, they'll think we took you, Caelum finishes, whether we did or not. The words settle over Riven like a weighted blanket, suffocating. So I'm what? A pawn? No. Dorian's voice hardens. You're a person. That's the problem. Riven blinks. What? If you were just a pawn, we could hand you back, Dorian explains. But you're a person. An Omega. One of their men tried to hurt you. That's not something we ignore. Caelum leans forward. Tell us everything. From the beginning. Every detail you remember. Riven swallows. His throat is dry. I don't know what else to say. I closed the cafe late. My manager left early. I stayed to clean. When I stepped outside, he was there. Did he follow you? Caelum asks. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't notice anyone before that. What did he say? Exactly. Riven's hands twist together. He said I smelled sweet. That I shouldn't be walking around alone. That alphas like him could smell me from blocks away. Dorian's jaw clenches. Then he stepped closer. Riven continues. His voice drops. He grabbed for me. I ran. I didn't think. I just ran. And you found our car. Riven nods miserably. The door was unlocked. I thought I could hide until he left. Lucky us, Dorian mutters. Caelum shoots him a look. Not luck. Instinct. Riven glances up. What? Omegas gravitate towards safety, Caelum says. Even when they don't know what it looks like. You chose our car for a reason. I didn't choose anything, Riven argues. I was terrified. Exactly, Caelum replies. Terror strips away logic. Leaves only instinct. Your instinct led you to us. The words hang in the air. Riven doesn't know what to do with that. Dorian stands, paces. His energy is restless, contained. We need to move fast. If Varyn hears about this. They already know, Caelum interrupts. He's looking at his phone. Screen glowing cold blue. We have confirmation. Their man reported back before we pulled the footage. Riven's stomach drops. Reported what? That an Omega escaped him. That the Omega ran into our territory. But I wasn't trying to. Doesn't matter. Caelum pockets the phone. Perception is reality. And right now, Varyn thinks we stole their prize. Prize. The word makes Riven's skin crawl. I'm not a prize, he says. Quiet. Firm. Dorian stops pacing. Looks at him. Really looks. No, you're not. Something passes between them. An understanding. Fragile. Unspoken. What happens now? Riven asks. Caelum stands. Buttons his jacket. Now we make it clear that you're under our protection. Officially. And if Varyn doesn't care, then we remind them why they should. The threat in those words is quiet, but it's there. Riven's hands won't stop shaking. I didn't ask for this. Most people don't, Dorian says. He moves to the window, stares out at the city lights. But you're here now, and we don't leave people to the wolves. Even if keeping me causes a war? Dorian turns. His expression is unreadable. Especially then. Riven wants to argue, wants to scream, wants to run, but he's so tired. And these alphas, dangerous, terrifying, too powerful for their own good. They're the only thing standing between him and whatever Varyn has planned. Caelum's phone buzzes. He glances at it. His face darkens. What? Dorian asks. Caelum shows him the screen. Dorian curses under his breath. Riven's pulse spikes. What is it? Caelum looks at him. Varyn just sent a message. What kind of message? The kind that says they want you back. Riven's world tilts. What did you tell them? Caelum's smile is cold, sharp. That they can try. What will the twins do when Varyn comes for Riven? The penthouse feels smaller now. Riven sits on the couch, arms wrapped around himself, while Caelum and Dorian move through the space like predators planning a hunt. Their voices are low, clipped, efficient. Riven catches fragments. Double security. Track his scent radius. If they breach the building, Riven's chest tightens. This is real. This is happening. He's not just some Omega who made a bad choice. He's a catalyst. a spark that's about to ignite something he doesn't understand. Dorian notices him, stops mid-conversation, crosses the room in 3 strides. "You're panicking again," Dorian says. "I'm not. Your sense spikes when you lie." Riven's face burns. He looks away. "I'm fine." "No, you're terrified." Dorian crouches. Again, like he's making himself smaller, less threatening. "And that's okay. But you need to breathe." "I am breathing. Barely." Riven's laugh comes out strangled, bitter. "You're telling me to calm down while 2 crime families fight over me like I'm some object." "You're not an object," Dorian interrupts. His voice is firm, steady. "You're a person. That's why this matters." Riven meets his eyes, searches for the lie, finds none. "I don't understand you," Riven whispers. "Good," Dorian replies. A ghost of a smile tugs at his mouth. "Keeps things interesting." Caelum joins them, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable as ever. "We need to set ground rules." Riven blinks. "Rules? You're staying here. That's not optional. But we need boundaries." "Boundaries," Riven repeats. The word feels foreign. "You don't leave without one of us," Caelum lists. "You don't answer the door. You don't contact anyone outside without clearing it first." Riven's stomach sinks. "You're locking me in." "We're keeping you alive," Caelum corrects. "There's a difference." "Is there?" The question hangs heavy. Dorian stands, runs a hand through his hair. "Look, I get it. This sucks. But Varyn doesn't play nice. If they get to you." "They won't," Caelum interrupts. Cold certainty. "Because you won't give them the chance." Riven wants to argue, wants to push back. But the exhaustion is winning. His body aches. His mind is fog. He can't think past the fear clawing at his ribs. "Where do I sleep?" Riven asks, quiet, defeated. Dorian and Caelum exchange a look. "Guest room," Dorian says. "Down the hall. Second door." Riven nods, stands on shaking legs. The jacket, Dorian's jacket, slips from his shoulders. He catches it, holds it awkwardly. "Keep it," Dorian says. "I don't need." "Keep it." The command is soft, but it's still a command. Riven doesn't have the energy to fight. He clutches the jacket and walks toward the hallway. Each step feels like moving through water. Behind him, he hears Caelum murmur something to Dorian, too low to make out. Dorian's response is just as quiet. Riven finds the guest room, opens the door. The space is immaculate. King-sized bed, dark furniture, soft lighting. It smells clean, neutral. Nothing like the rest of the penthouse, which is saturated with alpha scent. Riven closes the door, locks it, then stands there, staring at the bed, unsure what to do next. His phone buzzes in his pocket. He pulls it out. 7 missed calls from his manager. 3 texts. "Where are you? You didn't show up for your shift. If you're not coming in, at least tell me." Guilt twists in Riven's gut. He types a response. "I'm sorry. Family emergency. I'll explain later." It's not a lie. Not really. This is an emergency. Just not the kind his manager would believe. He sets the phone on the nightstand, sits on the edge of the bed. The jacket is still in his hands. He stares at it, at the worn leather, the faint scent of Dorian clinging to the fabric. Warmth, protection, things Riven has never associated with alphas before. He lies down, pulls the jacket over himself like a blanket, and for the first time in hours, his breathing steadies. But sleep doesn't come, because somewhere in the back of his mind, he knows this is only the beginning. Morning light filters through the blinds. Riven wakes disoriented. For a moment, he doesn't remember where he is. Then it crashes back. The twins. The penthouse. Varyn. His phone buzzes. Another text. This time from an unknown number. "We know where you are." Riven's blood turns to ice. He stares at the message, reads it again and again. A knock at the door makes him jump. "Riven." Caelum's voice, calm, controlled. "Open the door." Riven's hands shake as he unlocks it. Caelum stands in the hallway, dressed in a fresh suit, hair perfect, like he hasn't slept at all. "You got a message," Caelum says. Not a question. Riven nods. Shows him the phone. Caelum's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Something cold and deadly. "They're testing us," Caelum says. He hands the phone back. "Seeing if you'll panic. If we'll fold." "What do we do?" "We don't fold." Dorian appears behind Caelum, also dressed, also too awake. "Breakfast is ready." Riven blinks. "Breakfast? You need to eat," Dorian says, like it's obvious. Riven follows them to the kitchen. The space is massive. Marble countertops, stainless steel appliances, a spread of food that looks like it came from a restaurant. "I'm not hungry," Riven says. "Eat anyway," Caelum replies. He pours coffee, hands Riven a cup. Riven takes it, doesn't drink. Dorian leans against the counter, watches him. "You're wondering what happens next, aren't you?" Riven shoots back. Dorian's mouth quirks. "Fair." Caelum sets his own cup down. "Varyn will escalate. That's what they do. They'll push boundaries, test our resolve. And then we push back." The words are simple, but the weight behind them is enormous. Riven sets the coffee down. "I don't want anyone to get hurt because of me." "Too late," Dorian says. "People are already getting hurt. Just not you." The implication is clear. Varyn is making moves, and the twins are countering. Riven's stomach churns. "This is my fault." "No," Caelum says. Sharp, final. "This is their fault. For targeting you. For thinking they could get away with it. They're going to come for me, aren't they?" Caelum's silence is answer enough. Dorian pushes off the counter, crosses to Riven. "Let them try." The confidence in his voice should be comforting. It's not, because Riven can feel it. The storm building, the danger closing in, and he's standing right in the center of it. Caelum's phone buzzes. He glances at it. His jaw tightens. "What?" Dorian asks. Caelum shows him. Dorian's face goes blank. Riven's heart drops. "What is it?" Caelum looks at him, and for the first time, there's something other than cold control in his eyes. Concern. "Varyn just declared you claimed," Caelum says. Riven's world stops. "What does that mean?" Dorian answers. His voice is low. "Dangerous. It means they think you belong to them." How far will the twins go to protect Riven from a rival mafia's claim? The car smells like rain and tension. Riven sits in the backseat again. This time, he's not hiding. He's being transported, escorted, protected. Caelum drives. Dorian sits beside him. Both of them are silent, the kind of silence that comes before violence. Riven's hands twist in his lap. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere safer," Caelum says. Eyes on the road. "I thought the penthouse was safe." "It was." Dorian's voice is tight. "Until they started watching it." Riven's breath catches. "They're watching?" "Not anymore." Caelum's tone is flat, matter of fact. "We handled it." "Handled it." Riven doesn't ask what that means. Doesn't want to know. The car pulls into an underground garage. Private, secure. The kind of place that requires 3 levels of clearance just to enter. They park. The engine dies. Caelum turns around, looks at Riven. "From here on out, you stay close. You don't wander. You don't ask questions in front of people you don't know." "Understood." Riven nods. Dorian opens his door, steps out, comes around to Riven's side, opens it, offers a hand. This time, Riven takes it without hesitation. They walk through the garage. Concrete floors, fluorescent lights. The air is cold and stale. Riven's footsteps echo. They reach an elevator. Private. Requires a keycard. Caelum swipes it. The doors open. Inside, the space is smaller than before. Tighter. Riven can feel the heat radiating off both alphas. Can smell the mix of their scents, Dorian's rough warmth, Caelum's cold intensity. It's overwhelming. Riven presses himself against the wall, tries to make himself small. Dorian notices. Easy. I'm fine. You keep saying that. Because I am. Dorian doesn't argue, but he doesn't look convinced either. The elevator climbs. 30 floors, 40, 50, higher than before. When the doors open, they step into a hallway. Sleek, modern, one door at the end. Caelum unlocks it. They walk inside. Riven stops in his tracks. The space is enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Leather furniture, dark wood, everything sharp and expensive and imposing. It's not a home. It's a fortress. This is where we stay when things get complicated, Dorian explains. He shuts the door, locks it, bolts it. Riven's throat tightens. How complicated are things? Very. Caelum moves to the windows, stares out at the city below. Varyn made their move. Now we make ours. What move? Riven asks. Public declaration, Caelum says. He turns, looks at Riven. We announce that you're under our protection. Officially. No ambiguity. Riven's stomach drops. That'll start a war. It'll end one, Dorian corrects. Because once we claim you publicly, Varyn can't touch you without declaring war on us. And they're not ready for that. How do you know? Because we've been planning for this, Caelum says. For years. Riven blinks. You've been planning for me? Not you specifically. Caelum's expression softens. Barely. But someone like you. Someone Varyn would target. Someone worth protecting. Worth protecting. The words settle over Riven like a weight. I'm not worth a war, Riven whispers. Dorian crosses the room, stands in front of him. Yes, you are. Riven shakes his head. You don't even know me. We know enough. Like what? Like you ran, Dorian says. You didn't freeze. You didn't submit. You fought. That's rare. Fighting is running now? Fighting is survival. Dorian's voice drops. And survival is strength. Riven wants to argue, wants to say he's not strong. He's just scared, but the words won't come. Caelum's phone buzzes. He glances at it. His jaw tightens. They're moving, he says. Dorian tenses. How many? 6. Maybe more. Riven's pulse spikes. Moving where? Here. The word hits like a punch. They know we're here? Riven's voice cracks. They know we moved you, Caelum clarifies. They don't know where. Yet. How long until they figure it out? Caelum and Dorian exchange a look. An hour, Caelum says. Maybe less. Riven's knees threaten to give out. Dorian catches his elbow, steadies him. We're not letting them take you, Dorian says. Firm. Final. You can't stop them forever. We don't need forever. Caelum pockets his phone. We just need tonight. Riven doesn't understand. Why tonight? Because tonight we go public. Caelum's smile is cold, sharp. And once the city knows you're ours, Varyn loses. Ours. The word echoes in Riven's mind. He's not theirs. Not really. But they're acting like he is. Like he's something worth fighting for. Worth risking everything for. It's terrifying. It's also the safest he's felt in years. Dorian moves to the window, scans the street below. We have movement. South side. Caelum joins him. How many? 3. No, 4. They're spreading out. Riven's heart hammers. What do we do? Caelum turns, looks at him. You stay here, between us, no matter what happens. What's going to happen? Dorian's smile is dangerous. We're about to remind Varyn why they should have left you alone. The lights in the penthouse flicker, then die. Darkness swallows the room. Riven's breath stops. And somewhere in the shadows, Caelum's voice cuts through the silence. They're here. Will Riven survive the night as Varyn closes in? Glass shatters somewhere in the penthouse. Riven jumps. His heart slams against his ribs. The darkness is absolute. No light from the windows. No glow from electronics. Everything is dead. Stay down, Caelum's voice cuts through the black. Cold. Commanding. Riven drops to his knees. His hands find the floor. Marble. Cold. Smooth. Footsteps. Heavy. Multiple. Coming from the hallway. Dorian moves. Riven can't see him, but he hears the shift of fabric. The click of something metal. A weapon. 3 from the east, Dorian murmurs. 2 from the west. Amateurs, Caelum replies. They're making noise. Or they want us to know they're here. The footsteps stop. Silence falls. Riven's breath comes too fast, too loud. He presses a hand over his mouth, trying to muffle the sound. A door opens. Light floods the hallway, bright, blinding after the darkness. Riven squints, sees shadows moving. 3 figures, dressed in black, faces covered. There, one of them says, pointing at Riven. Dorian moves first, fast, a blur in the dim light. He hits the first figure with enough force to send them crashing into the wall. The sound is brutal, bone on plaster. The second figure raises a gun. Caelum's hand shoots out, grabs the wrist, twists. The gun clatters to the floor. Caelum's knee comes up, connects with the figure's stomach. They double over, gasp, fall. The third figure lunges for Riven. Riven scrambles backward. His back hits the couch. Nowhere to go. The figure reaches for him. A hand closes around his wrist. Then Dorian is there, grabbing the figure by the collar, slamming them face first into the floor. Hard. The figure goes limp. Riven's chest heaves. He can't breathe, can't think. Get up, Dorian says. He's not even winded. We're moving. Riven staggers to his feet. His legs are shaking so hard he can barely stand. Caelum moves to the window, looks out. More coming. At least 8. Back exit. Dorian asks. Blocked. Roof. Only option. Dorian grabs Riven's arm. Not rough, just firm. Stay with me. Don't stop. Don't look back. Riven nods. Can't speak. They move through the penthouse. Fast. Caelum leads. Dorian keeps Riven between them. A shield on both sides. They reach a door. Caelum kicks it open. Stairs. Narrow. Metal. Leading up. Go, Caelum orders. They climb. Riven's lungs burn. His legs scream. But he doesn't stop. Behind them, voices. Shouting. Getting closer. Faster, Dorian urges. Riven pushes harder. His vision blurs. His muscles are on fire. They burst through a door at the top. Cold air hits Riven's face. Wind. Rain. The roof is flat, white, empty except for HVAC units and satellite dishes. Now what? Riven gasps. Caelum moves to the edge. Looks down. Helicopter. 3 minutes out. We don't have 3 minutes, Dorian says. The door behind them crashes open. 4 figures emerge. Guns drawn. Riven's stomach drops. Caelum steps in front of him. Dorian moves to his side. Both of them tense. Ready. Back away from the Omega, one of the figures says. Voice distorted by a mask. Varyn wants him unharmed. Varyn doesn't get what he wants, Caelum replies. The figure laughs. You're outnumbered. We've been outnumbered before. Not like this. More figures appear. 6, then 8, then 10. Riven's breath stops. They're surrounded. Dorian's hand finds Riven's. Squeezes once. When I say run, you run. Where? Riven whispers. Doesn't matter. Just run. One of the figures steps forward. Last chance. Hand him over. Walk away. No one has to die tonight. Caelum's smile is deadly. Everyone keeps saying that. And yet, Caelum moves. Fast. Too fast. He closes the distance before the figure can react. Grabs the gun. Twists it free. Fires once. The sound is deafening. The figure drops. Chaos erupts. Gunfire. Shouting. Bodies moving. Dorian shoves Riven toward the far edge of the roof. Go! Riven runs. His feet slip on wet concrete. He catches himself. Keeps moving. Behind him, the fight rages. Caelum and Dorian against 10 armed men. It's not a fair fight, but they're winning. Riven reaches the edge, looks over. Too high, no way down. A hand grabs his shoulder. Riven spins. A masked figure, gun raised. Found you, the figure says. Riven's world tilts. Then Dorian is there, tackling the figure. Both of them go down hard. The gun fires. Wide, missing. Dorian's fist connects with the figure's jaw. Once, twice. The figure goes still. Dorian stands, breathing hard. Blood on his knuckles. You okay? Riven nods. Can't speak. A spotlight cuts through the rain. Bright, blinding. The helicopter. It hovers above them. A rope ladder drops. Climb! Caelum shouts. He's holding off 3 more figures. Gun in one hand. Fighting with the other. Dorian grabs Riven. Lifts him toward the ladder. Go! Riven's hands close around the rope. Wet, slippery. He climbs. 1 rung. Then another. His arms scream. His hands are numb. Below, Dorian follows. Then Caelum. The helicopter rises. Fast. The figures on the roof shrink. Then disappear. Riven collapses inside the helicopter. Gasping. Soaked. Shaking. Dorian climbs in after him. Then Caelum. The door slides shut. Silence. Except for the roar of the blades. Caelum looks at Riven. You hurt. Riven shakes his head. Good. Dorian leans back. Wipes blood from his face. That was too close. They're getting bolder. Caelum agrees. Riven stares at them. What just happened? We left. Dorian says simply. They tried to kill you. They tried. Caelum's smile is cold. They failed. Riven's hands won't stop shaking. Where are we going? Somewhere they can't follow. The helicopter banks left. The city lights blur below. Riven closes his eyes. And for the first time tonight, he realizes something. He's not just running anymore. He's being hunted. What will happen when Varyn realizes the twins won't give Riven up? The safe house smells like dust and old wood. Riven stands in the center of a small room. Bare walls. Single window. Bed in the corner. It's nothing like the penthouse. Nothing like the tower. It's a bunker. This is where you'll stay, Caelum says. He's leaning against the doorframe. Arms crossed. Blood still on his shirt. For how long? Riven asks. Until it's safe. When will that be? Caelum doesn't answer. Dorian appears behind him. We need to clean up. Get some rest. We'll talk in the morning. Riven nods. Doesn't argue. He's too tired. They leave. The door closes. The lock clicks. Riven sinks onto the bed. The mattress is thin, hard, but it's better than nothing. He stares at the ceiling. His mind races. Gunfire. Blood. The figures on the roof. They wanted him, specifically, not to kill, to take. That's worse somehow. His phone buzzes. He pulls it out. Another message. Unknown number. You can't hide forever. Riven's chest tightens. He deletes the message. Shuts off the phone. But the words stay with him. You can't hide forever. He knows. He knows they're right. But he doesn't know what else to do. Sleep doesn't come. Riven lies awake. Listening. Waiting. For what, he's not sure. Hours pass. Maybe 3. Maybe more. A knock at the door. Riven sits up. Yeah. It's me. Dorian's voice. Rough. Tired. Riven unlocks the door. Opens it. Dorian stands in the hallway. No jacket. Just a shirt. Sleeves rolled up. He looks exhausted. Can't sleep? Dorian asks. Can you? Dorian's mouth quirks. Not really. They stand there. Awkward. Neither sure what to say. You didn't have to do that, Riven says finally. On the roof. You could have left me. No, Dorian replies. We couldn't. Why not? Dorian looks at him. Really looks. Because you're not just some Omega who got caught in the crossfire. He stops. Shakes his head. You're different. Different how? You don't give up. Riven laughs. Bitter. I ran. That's giving up. Running is surviving, Dorian corrects. Giving up is letting them take you. You didn't do that. Riven doesn't know what to say. I was scared, he admits. Quiet. Good. Fear keeps you alive. Does it? So far. They fall silent again. Can I ask you something? Riven says. Sure. Why do you care? Riven's voice cracks. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. So why risk everything for someone like me? Dorian steps closer. Because people like you don't exist in our world. People who apologize for being scared. Who try to leave so others won't get hurt. He pauses, searching for words. That's rare. And rare things are worth protecting. Riven's throat tightens. I'm not special. Yes, Dorian says softly. You are. The words hang between them. Riven looks away. Can't hold the intensity of Dorian's gaze. Get some rest, Dorian says. He steps back. We'll figure this out in the morning. What if there's nothing to figure out? There's always something. Dorian leaves. The door closes again. Riven sits on the bed. His chest aches. Not from fear this time, from something else. Something he doesn't have a name for. Morning comes too fast. Riven wakes to voices. Low, urgent. He gets up, moves to the door, presses his ear against it. Can't keep running, Caelum's voice. Then we stop running, Dorian replies. And do what? We fight. That's suicide. It's the only option. Silence. What about him? Caelum asks. We keep him close. For how long? As long as it takes. Riven's stomach twists. He opens the door, steps into the hallway. Both alphas turn. Look at him. I heard, Riven says. Caelum's jaw tightens. You weren't supposed to. I don't care. Riven's voice is steady, stronger than he feels. If you're going to make decisions about my life, I deserve to know what they are. Dorian and Caelum exchange a look. Fair, Dorian says. Caelum nods. We're planning a countermove. Against Varyn. What kind of countermove? The kind that ends this. Riven's pulse spikes. Ends it how? By making it clear that you're untouchable, Caelum explains. Publicly. Officially. You said that before. But how? Dorian steps forward. We claim you. In front of everyone. The city. The syndicates. Everyone. Riven's breath catches. Claim me as ours, Caelum says. Under our protection. Permanently. The word crashes over Riven like a wave. Permanently. Riven's voice falters. I don't belong to anyone. No, Dorian agrees. But if Varyn thinks you do, they'll back off. And if they don't, then we make them. Riven shakes his head. This is insane. It's the only way, Caelum says. Unless you have a better idea. Riven doesn't. And that's the worst part. What if I say no? Riven asks. Then we keep running, Dorian says. And eventually they catch us. And you. The truth of it sits heavy in the air. Riven looks between them. These two alphas who risked everything. Who fought for him. Who are still fighting. When? Riven asks. Tonight, Caelum replies. At the gala. What gala? The one where every syndicate in the city will be watching. Riven's knees threaten to buckle. Tonight. Everything changes tonight. Dorian moves closer. We won't let anything happen to you. You can't promise that. No, Dorian admits. But we'll die trying. The words should terrify Riven. Instead, they ground him. Okay, Riven says. Quiet. Final. I'll do it. Caelum nods. Good. Dorian's hand finds Riven's shoulder. Squeezes gently. And for a moment, Riven feels safe. Then his phone buzzes. Another message. We'll see you tonight. Riven's blood turns cold. They know. Varyn knows. And they're coming. Will Riven survive the gala where every syndicate is watching? The suit doesn't fit right. Riven tugs at the collar. It's too tight. Or maybe that's just his nerves. He stares at himself in the mirror. Dark fabric. Clean lines. He looks like someone else. someone who belongs in this world. He doesn't. Stop fidgeting, Caelum says from the doorway. Riven drops his hands. I can't do this. Yes, you can. You don't understand. I don't belong at a gala. I don't know how to talk to these people. You don't have to talk. Caelum steps into the room, adjusts Riven's collar with efficient hands. You just have to stand there, with us. That's all. That's all. Riven's laugh is shaky. They're going to see me and know. No, I'm not like them. Good, Caelum says. That's the point. Riven blinks. What? You're not like them. That's why this works. You're not hardened, not corrupt. You're exactly what they're not. And that makes you valuable. I'm not valuable. I'm a liability. You're both. Caelum's expression softens. Barely. But tonight, you're an asset. Dorian appears behind Caelum, also in a suit, perfectly tailored. He looks dangerous, controlled. Car's ready, Dorian says. Riven's stomach drops. Already. Time to go. They walk through the safe house, down the stairs, out into the night. A black car waits, engine running, tinted windows. Riven climbs into the back. Caelum and Dorian flank him, one on each side. The door closes. The car moves. Riven's hands twist in his lap. What happens when we get there? We walk in, Caelum says. We're announced. Everyone sees you with us. That's the claim. And if Varyn challenges it, they won't. Dorian's voice is certain. Not publicly. It would make them look weak. But privately? That's a different problem. The city lights blur past the window. Tall buildings, crowds, music drifting from open doors. The car slows, stops. Riven's heart hammers. Ready? Dorian asks. No. Good. Neither are we. The door opens. Bright lights. Camera flashes. Voices. So many voices. Riven steps out. His legs shake. Dorian's hand finds the small of his back. Steadying. They walk forward. Up marble steps. Through tall doors. Into a space that looks like something out of a dream. Crystal chandeliers. Gold trim. People in expensive clothes. Alphas and omegas and betas all mingling. Drinking. Laughing. Every single one of them turns to look. At Riven. The room goes quiet. Caelum leans close. Whispers in Riven's ear. Breathe. Riven tries. His lungs won't cooperate. An announcer's voice cuts through the silence. Caelum and Dorian Arcton. And their guest. Their guest. The words echo. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Who is that? An Omega? Is he? Are they claiming him? Riven wants to disappear. Wants the floor to swallow him whole. But Dorian's hand is still on his back. Caelum is beside him. Both of them projecting calm. Control. They move through the crowd. Slowly. Deliberately. People part. Make way. Some stare with curiosity. Others with hunger. A few with open hostility. Riven keeps his eyes forward. Doesn't look at anyone. They reach a table. Private. Elevated. Overlooking the room. Sit, Caelum says. Riven sits. His hands grip the edge of the table. Dorian and Caelum sit on either side. A server approaches. Offers drinks. Caelum waves them away. How long do we have to stay? Riven whispers. An hour, Caelum replies. Maybe 2. I don't know if I can. You can. A figure approaches the table. Tall, sharp suit, cold smile. Caelum, Dorian. The figure's eyes slide to Riven. And who's this? None of your concern, Caelum says. The figure laughs. Everything in this city is my concern, especially when the Arcton twins bring an unmated Omega to a public event. Dorian leans forward. Walk away, Marcus. Marcus's smile widens. Touchy. Must be important. I said walk away. Marcus holds up his hands. Fine, fine. But you should know Varyn's here. And they're not happy. Riven's blood turns cold. Marcus leaves. He's here. Riven's voice cracks. Varyn? Not Varyn himself. Caelum says. His representatives. That's not better. No, it's not. Dorian scans the room. There, north corner. 3 of them. Riven follows his gaze. 3 figures. Watching, not hiding it. One of them raises a glass. A mock toast. Riven's stomach twists. They're going to make a move, Riven says. Let them try, Dorian replies. The night drags on. Music plays. People dance. Laughter fills the air. But the tension never breaks. Riven can feel eyes on him. Constantly. Judging. Measuring. He's on display. An hour passes. Then another. We're leaving, Caelum says finally. Thank God. Riven breathes. They stand. Move toward the exit. The crowd parts again. They're almost to the door when a voice stops them. Leaving so soon? Riven turns. A man stands behind them. Tall. Well-dressed. Eyes like ice. Who are you? Dorian demands. The man smiles. A messenger. From Varyn. Caelum's jaw tightens. Speak. My employer wants to make something clear. The man looks at Riven. The Omega belongs to us. Whatever game you're playing, it ends tonight. He doesn't belong to anyone, Dorian growls. That's where you're wrong. The man steps closer. Varyn claimed him first. Your little display tonight doesn't change that. Actually, Caelum says coldly, it does. The man's smile fades. You're making a mistake. We've made bigger ones. The man's eyes narrow. This won't end well for you. It never does. The man leaves, but the threat lingers. They step outside, into the cold night air. That was a declaration, Dorian says. I know, Caelum replies. What do? We finish this. Riven's voice is small. How? Caelum looks at him. By making sure you're never alone again. Riven doesn't understand. What does that mean? Dorian's hand finds his. It means from this moment on, you don't leave our side. Ever. Riven whispers. Ever. The car pulls up. They climb inside. And as the city lights fade behind them, Riven realizes something. He's not a guest anymore. He's theirs. Whether he's ready or not. How will Riven's life change now that he's officially under the twins' protection? The alarm screams at 2 in the morning. Riven jolts awake. His heart slams against his ribs. The sound is sharp, piercing, cuts through the darkness like a blade. His door bursts open. Dorian, no shirt, gun in hand. Get up, now. Riven scrambles out of bed. What's happening? Breach, east perimeter. Caelum appears behind Dorian, fully dressed, armed. How many? At least 6, maybe more. Riven's blood turns to ice. They found us. Yeah. Dorian grabs Riven's arm. They did. They move fast, down the hallway, through the safe house. The alarm keeps shrieking. Safe room, Caelum orders. 3rd door on the left. Dorian pulls Riven toward it, opens the door, shoves him inside. The space is small. Concrete walls. Single light bulb. No windows. A cage. Stay here, Dorian says. Don't open this door for anyone but us. What if you don't come back? Dorian's expression hardens. We will. He closes the door. The lock clicks. Riven is alone. He presses his back against the wall, slides down, wraps his arms around his knees. The alarm stops. Silence falls. Worse than the noise. Riven strains to hear. Footsteps. Voices. Anything. Nothing. Then gunfire. Riven flinches. His whole body tenses. More shots. Closer this time. Shouting. Crashing. The sounds of a fight. Riven's hands cover his ears. But it doesn't help. He can still hear everything. A scream. Cut short. Riven's stomach churns. Minutes crawl by. Each one an eternity. Then, footsteps outside the door. Riven's breath stops. The handle jiggles. Riven. Dorian's voice. Rough. Strained. Riven scrambles to his feet. Unlocks the door. Yanks it open. Dorian stands there. Blood on his face. his knuckles, his shirt torn. Are you hurt? Riven's hands reach for him without thinking. I'm fine. Dorian catches his wrists. Gently. We need to move. Now. Where's Caelum? Securing the exit. They run through the safe house. Bodies on the floor. Masked figures. Not moving. Riven tries not to look. They reach the back door. Caelum waits there. Also bloodied. Also armed. Clear? Dorian asks. For now. They step outside. Into the cold. The night is black. No moon. No stars. Car waits. Engine running. They climb in. Dorian drives this time. Fast. Too fast. Where are we going? Riven asks. Somewhere they won't think to look. Caelum replies. The city blurs past. Then fades. They're leaving. Heading toward the outskirts. Riven's chest tightens. How did they find us? Someone talked, Dorian says. His voice is cold. Angry. Who? We'll find out. They drive for an hour. Maybe more. Finally, the car slows. Turns onto a dirt road. Trees close in on both sides. They stop in front of a cabin. Small. Isolated. Hidden. Out, Caelum orders. They climb out. The air smells like pine and damp earth. Inside, the cabin is bare. One room. Fireplace. Couch. Bed in the corner. Riven stands in the center. Lost. Dorian locks the door. Checks the windows. Caelum drops into a chair. Wipes blood from his face. Are you hurt? Riven asks again. Cuts and bruises, Caelum says. Nothing serious. You're bleeding. I've bled worse. Riven's hands shake. This is my fault. No, Dorian snaps. It's theirs. They wouldn't be here if not for me. They'd be here anyway, Caelum says. You're just the excuse. Riven doesn't believe him, but he's too tired to argue. He sits on the edge of the bed. His whole body aches. Not from injury, from fear, from exhaustion. Dorian crouches in front of him. We're not giving up. Maybe you should. Not an option. Why not? Dorian's jaw tightens. Because we don't leave people behind. Ever. Riven looks at him. Really looks. At the blood. The cuts. The determination in his eyes. You're insane, Riven whispers. Yeah. Dorian's mouth quirks. We are. Caelum stands. Moves to the window. Stares out into the darkness. They'll regroup, Caelum says. Figure out we're gone. Start searching again. How long do we have? Dorian asks. A day. Maybe two. And then, we end this. Riven's voice is small. How? Caelum turns. Looks at him. We go to Varyn. Directly. Riven's stomach drops. That's suicide. It's negotiation. They won't negotiate. They will. Caelum's smile is cold. Because we have something they want. Me. You. Riven shakes his head. You can't. You can't just hand me over. We're not handing you over, Dorian interrupts. We're making them understand that touching you means war. Real war. The kind they can't win. You don't know that. Yes, Caelum says. We do. Riven wants to argue. Wants to scream. But he's too tired. He lies back on the bed. Stares at the ceiling. Dorian sits beside him. Not touching. Just there. Get some rest, Dorian says. I can't. Try. Riven closes his eyes. Sleep doesn't come. But eventually exhaustion does. He drifts. In and out. Half awake. Half dreaming. When he wakes, the room is dark. The fire has died. He's not alone. Dorian is on one side. Caelum on the other. Both of them close. Protecting. Even in sleep. Riven's breath catches. He's never felt this before. This sense of being guarded. Valued. Worth fighting for. Terrifies him. It also makes him feel something he hasn't felt in years. Safe. He closes his eyes again. And this time, sleep comes. What will happen when the twins confront Varyn face to face? Morning light filters through the cabin windows. Riven wakes slowly. Warm. Too warm. He opens his eyes. Dorian is on his left, arm draped across Riven's waist. Caelum is on his right, close enough that Riven can feel the heat of his body. Riven's breath stops. They're surrounding him, caging him in, not threatening, protective. He should move, should wake them, should put distance between them. But he doesn't. Because for the first time in his life, he feels wanted. Not as an object, not as a prize, as a person. Dorian stirs, his eyes open. Meet Riven's. "Morning," Dorian murmurs, voice rough with sleep. "Morning." Riven whispers back. Dorian doesn't move his arm, doesn't pull away. Caelum wakes next, slower, more controlled. His eyes find Riven immediately. "You slept?" Caelum observes. "Yeah." "Good." They lie there, all three of them, silent. The moment stretches. Then Caelum sits up. The spell breaks. "We need to move," Caelum says. "Today." "Where?" Riven asks. "Varyn's territory." Riven's stomach twists. "You're serious?" "We don't have a choice." Dorian sits up too, runs a hand through his hair. "He's right. We can't keep running. It ends today." Riven pushes himself upright. "What if they kill you?" "They won't." "How do you know?" "Because," Caelum says calmly, "killing us starts a war they can't afford. They'll negotiate. And if they don't? Then we fight our way out." Riven shakes his head. "This is insane." "You said that already," Dorian points out. "Because it's still true." They dress, arm themselves, prepare. Riven watches, his chest tight. These two alphas, dangerous, powerful, relentless, they're risking everything. For him, he doesn't understand it, doesn't know if he ever will, but he's grateful. "Ready?" Caelum asks. Riven nods, lies. They leave the cabin, climb into the car, drive back toward the city. The streets are empty, early morning, most people still asleep. They reach Varyn's building, tall, glass, imposing, security at the entrance. Caelum parks, kills the engine. "Last chance to back out," Dorian says to Riven. "What happens if I do?" "We still go in, but you stay in the car." "No." Riven's voice is firm. "If you're doing this for me, I'm coming with you." Dorian and Caelum exchange a look. "Okay," Caelum says, "but you stay between us. Always." They step out, walk toward the entrance. Security blocks their path. "You're not welcome here." "We're not here for a warm welcome," Caelum replies. "We're here to talk to Varyn. He's not taking visitors. He'll take us." The guard hesitates, speaks into a radio, waits. A response crackles back. The guard steps aside. "Top floor." They enter. "Take the elevator." The ride is silent, tense. Riven's hands won't stop shaking. Dorian notices, takes his hand, squeezes once. The doors open. A large office. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A desk at the center. Behind it, a man, tall, silver hair, cold eyes. Varyn. He smiles. The Arcton twins. And their little Omega. How unexpected. "We're here to talk," Caelum says. "I'm listening. The Omega is ours. Not yours. Not anyone's but ours. You leave him alone. Permanently." Varyn's smile widens. "And why would I agree to that?" "Because if you don't," Dorian says, "we burn your empire to the ground." The room goes cold. Varyn leans back, studies them. Big words, but you're outnumbered, outgunned. "What makes you think you can win?" "We don't need to win," Caelum says. "We just need to make it cost you more than he's worth." Varyn's eyes flick to Riven. "Is he worth that much?" "To us." Dorian's voice is steady. "Yes." The silence stretches. Then Varyn laughs. "You're fools, but I respect fools." He stands, walks to the window, stares out at the city. "Fine," Varyn says. "The Omega is yours. But know this. If he steps out of line, if he becomes a problem, all bets are off." "He won't," Caelum promises. "Good." Varyn turns. "Now get out. Before I change my mind. They leave, fast, down the elevator, out into the street. Riven's legs shake. Did we just? Yeah, Dorian breathes. We did. They climb into the car, drive away. No one speaks. The weight of what just happened settles over them. Finally, Riven breaks the silence. What now? Caelum glances at him in the rearview mirror. Now you're safe. For how long? As long as we're alive. Riven's throat tightens. I don't know how to repay you. You don't have to, Dorian says. That's not how this works. Then how does it work? Dorian and Caelum exchange another look. Something passes between them, unspoken. You stay, Dorian says finally, with us. If you want. Riven's breath catches. Stay. In our world. Under our protection. Permanently. As what? Caelum's voice is soft. As ours. The word hangs in the air. Ours. Riven's heart pounds. I don't know if. You don't have to decide now, Dorian interrupts. Just think about it. Riven looks between them. These two alphas who saved him. Who fought for him. Who changed everything. Okay. Riven whispers. I'll think about it. But deep down, he already knows the answer. Because for the first time in his life, he's not alone. And he doesn't want to be. The city lights blur past the window. And somewhere in the back of Riven's mind, a new question forms. What happens next? Because this isn't an ending. It's a beginning. And beginnings are always dangerous. Caelum's phone buzzes. He glances at it. His jaw tightens. What? Dorian asks. Caelum shows him the screen. Dorian curses under his breath. Riven's pulse spikes. What is it? Caelum looks at him through the mirror. His eyes are cold. Hard. Varyn lied. Riven's stomach drops. What do you mean? He just sent a message to every syndicate in the city. Saying what? Caelum's voice is deadly quiet. That the Omega is still fair game. And the first person to bring you in gets a reward. Riven's world tilts. They didn't win. They just painted a bigger target on his back. Dorian's hand finds Riven's. Grips tight. We're not letting them take you, Dorian says. His voice is fierce. Final. Caelum's eyes meet Riven's in the mirror. From this moment on, you don't run from us again. Because we're not letting you go. Riven's breath catches. And as the city fades behind them, one truth becomes clear. This is only the beginning of the fight. And Riven is no longer just running. He's choosing a side. There's what will happen now that every syndicate in the city is hunting Riven. Will the twins be able to protect him, or will the danger finally catch up to them? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of the story. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Your words might inspire someone else who needs to hear this today. Thank you for being part of this journey.